And here we have a specimen from the early 2000s, a legacy investing platform. Please don't touch the exhibit, folks. It could crash.
Ready to step out of the financial history museum? At public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind. Go to public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at public.com/disclosures.
KFI AM 640, YouTube, and get this, Facebook. And we're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Yes, we are streaming live on Facebook. Where? At Mr. Mo Kelly, MrMokelly. We're streaming live on YouTube. Where? At Mr. Mo Kelly, MrMokelly. I think we'll even be up on Instagram. Hey, Stefan, where will we be on Instagram? Where will we be?
Live.
Where? What's the address?
MrMokelly.
I know, it's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, we're everywhere. But this is where I want to start tonight. I got your messages. I got your notes. I got your anecdotes about, yes, Mo, you called it. Yes, I know. I do know this. In fact, Tuwal and I, we were communicating for the better part of the day, talking about what happened, and it's still happening, actually, at Dodger Stadium right now. We told you that they're likely, well, there are two parts to this. The first part is the Dodgers as an organization are going to have to say something. They're going to need to address this on some level. Originally, they were scheduled to make a statement earlier today. They've delayed it to maybe tomorrow. Something about what they want to do for the community as far as immigrants in the Los Angeles community. I'll reserve judgment until that statement is actually released. But I also said that there were some rumblings and there was a distinct possibility that Dodger Stadium might be used by ICE or some other federal agents like U.S. Customs and Border agents to effect some of these arrests or strategize something having to do with these raids. And this morning, there were maybe 4 or 5 cars. Originally, we thought that, and I say we, in the media, we thought that they were ICE. Come to find out later, they were not ICE. ICE denied it was them. I think Homeland Security denied it was them. And come to find out it was U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Now, Homeland Security says that whoever was there at Dodger Stadium had nothing to do with the raids. That's a lot of bullshit, okay? They were not just parked right outside of Dodger Stadium because they were having lunch. No, they tried to get in to the Dodger Stadium parking lot. And if you don't know, the Dodger Stadium parking lot is not owned by the Dodgers. It's owned by Frank McCourt, who used to own the Dodgers. Long story short, it's private property. They wanted to get in. They were not allowed in. And eventually LAPD showed up to keep the peace because here's the ironic thing. People were protesting at Dodger Stadium having nothing to do with any federal agents. They were showing up trying to get the Dodgers organization to make a statement, and they wanted to be there if and when the organization did. Then lo and behold, oh my goodness, we have federal agents here. And then it really started to escalate from there. I'm glad nothing bad happened. There were no incidents of violence. There was no escalation. But now Dodger Stadium itself is now a center point for, I'll say, the protest for the next few days until the Dodgers have something to say. And yes, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. I'm just a guy who's on the radio, and I'm not going to take all the responsibility, I should say all the credit for pushing the Dodgers into a place where they felt compelled to make a statement. I'm not going to take all the credit, but I'm going to take more than none. Let me put it that way. I'm going to take more than zero. I think I had a role to play. And this is where we talk about the effectiveness of protesting. There's a a very specific goal here where you want the Dodgers organization to step out and make a statement and go on the record where they are in this fight. They have to say something. That was the short-term goal. And we've collectively, because I've heard from your the messages that you've sent me, I watched the TikToks and the Instagram posts, and there's been a groundswell of support in this endeavor. Again, I'm not taking all the credit, but I'm going to take more than zero of the credit. Where that falls on the spectrum, that's up to you. But now we've pushed the organization to where they're going to have to make a public statement, and they also know that the protests are now on their doorstep. They're going to be in the news regarding this every single day. We have live video right now. If you go to our YouTube and also our Facebook video simulcast at Mr. Mo Kelly for both of them, you can see LAPD out there lined up. You can see fans just outside the gate. There is a game which is going to be starting very shortly at Dodger Stadium. So there is a concern that there's more about this story before the night is through. And probably it will be there tomorrow if and when the Dodgers officially make their announcement. If they don't, then this is going to go on foreseeably in perpetuity because the demands, the expectations have not been met. And each day which passes, and I really want this to be clear, each day that passes that the Dodgers don't make some sort of statement, it's going to be more difficult to say anything which is going to satisfy the public. The longer you make people wait, the more dissatisfied people will become. And then it gets to a point where you lose control of the narrative. You won't be able to say anything in which will help abate all of this. So the Dodgers are running out of time. They said they were going to say something this morning. It didn't happen. They postponed it to later. I'll assume it's tomorrow. Maybe I'm wrong. But if they wait into the weekend or into next week, then it probably gets to a point where more ill will be generated more than anything, and they will not be able to turn the narrative around. But let me just say this. I tried to tell not only the organization, but people that Dodger Stadium specifically was going to be a target, if you will, for these raids. Now, I don't care what ICE wants to say on social media. They want to deny it and say that they're not doing anything there. Do you think that they're actually going to tell you, yes, we're going to Dodger Stadium? Did they announce that they were going to? Hey, Mark, first, good evening. And which Home Depot did ICE go to today? I heard it in passing in your news report.
Let me see here.
I think it was even more than one Home Depot, if I'm not mistaken.
One in Hollywood.
Okay,
and,
one in Hollywood.
And a Lowe's in Pacoima. But I'm on Twitter, and I'm seeing it happening all over the city as well.
My point is, and thank you for that, Mark, they didn't give anyone any advance notice. So whatever they are going to do in and around Dodger Stadium, they're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell me. But we do know that federal agents were there this morning for something to do with what's been happening here in Southern California. And any statement to the contrary is just a lie. This is going to continue along this path because, one, there's a newfound focus on the Dodgers organization. There's a new focus on Dodger Stadium, and still the organization has not released a statement. We'll have more on this in just a moment. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on Facebook now at Mr. Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube at Mr. Mo Kelly, and we're live on Instagram at Mr. Mo Kelly, and we're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio.
And here we have a specimen from the early 2000s, a legacy investing platform. Please don't touch the exhibit, folks. It could crash.
Ready to step out of the financial history museum? At public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind. Go to public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at public.com/disclosures.
Your app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube. Now we're live on Facebook at Mr. Mo Kelly. And we're live on Instagram, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And I opened up the show tonight. Didn't even do my traditional rundown because it was necessary to talk about the news of the day right in that moment as the Dodgers begin their game tonight at Chavez Ravine. And I say Chavez Ravine because that's a part of the story as well. It's not just Dodger Stadium. When you talk about the history of the relationship between the Dodgers organization and the Latino community. And I was saying, hey, Dodgers, you have to say something. You've got to say something. And I don't know why they've been choosing. Well, I do know, but there was a better way they could have chosen the path of least resistance. That is their choice here. They don't want to get into the fray. Got it. If they wanted to get in the fray, they would have got in the fray a long time ago. This morning, they announced plans, quote unquote, to help cities' immigrant communities. That seems like corporate speak. That seems like they'll provide some resources, they'll provide some help, they'll provide some assistance, and they'll be sympathetic. And it's a half measure, but I don't know if it will satisfy the Latino community, which has been very, very vocal, increasingly vocal about the absence of the Dodgers on this issue. And if you know anything about half measures, you almost like you have a room, which is maybe 30 feet long, and you keep going half the distance, then half the distance of that, you will never actually get to the other side. You will never get to the goal, and you will never satisfy anyone. But the Dodgers at this point at least are acknowledging that they have to say something. Whether that something will be sufficient, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's going to shape up as being sufficient, but at least they are coming out of their shell and acknowledging the world which is going on around them. And honestly, it's almost good news what happened at the stadium, because it takes everything what has been going on in LA and put it right at their doorstep, literally on their doorstep. They can no longer look away because these protests and these seeming raids, now ICE denied that they were there today, and we find out those are U.S. Customs and Border agents. We're a long way from the border, but nonetheless, those are federal agents. They're a part of these raids. We're on the doorstep of the Dodgers parking lot. The Dodgers can no longer look away. But here is my biggest question. Are you actually going to pick a side in this? Are you actually going to take a stance? I don't get the idea that the Dodgers are. And maybe they're just trying to prolong this as long as possible. So hopefully the storm will move on to another city. I don't think it will. But I have noticed, this is not all the Dodgers' fault. I have noticed that ICE or Customs and Border Enforcement, they're only going after low-hanging fruit. And I've been seeing some published reports that ICE and whomever, they're not actually going into the communities looking for gang members, because you were told, I was told, Mark Ronner was told, Tawala was told that they were supposed to go after the criminals first. And instead, they've chosen to go after the most vulnerable, the people who are easier to run down in the middle of a Home Depot parking lot or at a school, at a church. And there's something that should ring not only hollow, insincere, but there's something, I want to say, despicable about that. Because if it's about ridding this country of the quote-unquote worst, and you're not going after the worst, I don't know, maybe because they're the most dangerous, maybe it's easier to go after moms and children, people at schools, day laborers. Maybe that's just easier if you're trying to get your numbers up, but you're not actually solving the problem. It makes me feel some kind of way, because I know what the campaign rhetoric was. I know you remember what the campaign rhetoric was. We were told we're going to start with the worst of the worst. We're going to get the criminals out of this country. And then you realize, oh, it's not about the criminals. And then we hear about those people who were apprehended and taken into custody when they were at their own asylum or their own legal proceedings. And the moment that it's dismissed or they walk out of the building, they're arrested and detained right there. People who are trying to go about it the right way legally. And then you realize, oh, it's not about the criminals. It's not about illegal immigration. It's just you don't want these brown people in this country. That's what it comes down to. Because the people who are trying to do it the right way, you're victimizing them. Yes, that's the correct word. You're victimizing them because you're taking advantage of them doing it the right way. So in other words, there is no answer which is going to satisfy this administration when it relates to brown people in this country. And I have no problem saying that because you're not going after the people who've overstayed their visa. You're not going after the other people who might be, quote unquote, illegal in Los Angeles. You're going to Home Depot. Who do you think you're going to find at Home Depot? Who do you think you're going to find at these schools or churches? And to say that, no, we're not profiling. No, you damn sure are profiling. Because you know exactly what you find. You know what you will not find at Home Depot? MS-13. You know what you won't find at Home Depot? The worst gangbangers in the city. They're usually not looking for work as a day laborer. I may be wrong, but I doubt it. So let's call a thing a thing. If we're going to be upset or call out the Dodgers for not making a statement and call out the dishonesty in which some have approached this, then let's call out the dishonesty of what we were sold and what is actually happening now. Home Depot and day laborers is not what we were advertised. Picking up people at their immigration hearings is not what we were advertised. Only Latinos was not what we were advertised, because we were advertised illegal aliens. And unless you think illegal alien and Latino is interchangeable, and it isn't, well, we have another problem that we have to deal with. There's what we were advertised, what we were sold, and what we've actually gotten. Do you actually want legal immigration? Because it doesn't seem like it. It seems like you just want those brown mother fathers out of this country. It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640, we're live everywhere. On the iHeartRadio app, we're live on YouTube, and we're live on Facebook. And when we come back, we're going to tell you about a recent study of the worst managed cities and the best here in this country. Some cities might surprise you, and some definitely will not.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640 is Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook and Instagram. If you're just tuning in or struggling to find the Facebook Live at Mr. Mo Kelly, you'll click on my avatar. There should be a live button there. You just click on and you're right in the show. Wallet Hub released a study this week ranking the best and worst run cities in the country. And it won't be any surprise when I tell you that 6 of California's cities ranked in the bottom 10. The website took the 148 most populated cities in the country and evaluated them across 6 different categories: financial stability, education, health, safety, economy, infrastructure, and pollution. The average of all those categories were calculated as, quote unquote, quality of city services, close quote, and divided by a city's total budget per capita to decide the overall rankings. So I guess we'll start at the bottom. Let me just put it this way. It's really bad. There were 148 cities surveyed and ranked. Let's get started. Let's see who came in dead last at 148. San Francisco. Yeah.
That tracks.
Yeah, it does. I'm actually surprised it came in behind the city, which came in 146. Oaktown.
Oh, that is weird.
Yes, I would have thought Oakland would have been 148.
Yeah.
Not, but anyhow, tomato. Coming in at number 141. Fresno. Yeah. 140. Long Beach. kind of surprised. I thought Long Beach would have done better out of the top 148.
Also, hope Kiki's not listening.
Oh, she's probably listening. She's probably listening. She's on the way home. She heard both, Long Beach and Fresno.
And Fresno.
Yeah. Coming in at 139 out of 148. Los Angeles. At least we didn't come in last. We're in the bottom 10, but we didn't come in last. 138 out of 148. Stockton. Number 130. River Tucky. Number 128. Baker's Bama comes in at 128. Baker's Bama. Number 127. Do you know the way to San Jose? Number 126 of the worst run cities in America. Number 126 out of 148. Sacramento. Well, who wants to live in Sacramento? Have you ever been to Sacramento? You're not missing a damn thing. There's nothing in Sacramento. Nothing worth seeing. Not even the state capital. 121. This is kind of surprising. Anaheim. Anaheim is in the bottom third of the worst run cities in America, according to Wallet Hub. Number 111. Yes, these are just the California cities. Santa Ana. At first look, I would think that Santa Ana would have been below Anaheim, but not the case. Not according to Wallet Hub. Number 107 of the 148 top cities or bottom cities, however you want to look at it, in America as far as best run / worst run. San Diego.
Really?
Right.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah. Look, all this is arbitrary. Number 102. No. No. Modesto. Modesto is above San Diego. Modesto is better run than San Diego.
No. No.
Number 93. Fremont. I guess you're not working with a lot in Fremont. And the top ranked California city of the best run / worst run cities in America, according to Wallet Hub, of the top 148, coming in at number 34 is Huntington Beach. So
That makes sense.
yeah, that makes sense. All right, here are the top 10 real quick of the best run cities in America. Here we go. Number 10. Mark, this is for you. Fort Wayne, Indiana.
My God, are you serious?
No one wants to live there, but I guess it's well run.
This is very sus.
Number 9. Virginia Beach, Virginia. I went there a couple times in college, but that was like the late 80s.
That's
Have
where the
no
woman who bit into the McDonald's breakfast sandwich just got a big settlement.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that must contribute to the to their ranking.
Okay. Number 8 of the best run cities in the country. Lincoln, Nebraska.
Come on.
Well, it might be the best run. I mean, you're not dealing with
How would anyone know?
A large population, that's for sure. Population, what, 45?
Yeah.
Number 7. Christy Nome approves. Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
They're picking areas where you'd have to put up a bear cam on a tree to find out if anything's going on.
Number 6 of the best run cities in the United States. Dover, Delaware. Never been. Anyone? Bueller? No. Okay. Number 5. Nashua, New Hampshire. I'll take your word for it. No one's moving there.
These are the fine folks at Wallet Hub putting this together?
Fine folks. I mean, it's a great advertisement for them. They got a 7-minute commercial out of us.
I don't know what they really do.
I don't know. They provide content.
Yeah, they just do polls. And lists.
Finance. I don't know.
Okay.
Someone Google for me.
Even I don't know what it does.
Yeah. Number 4. I mean, with a healthy dose of KKK, Boise, Idaho checks in at number 4.
Wow.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Best militias.
Oh, we're not done yet. Number 3. You'll see why. Manchester, New Hampshire. I got nothing.
Never been.
Yeah, never going. Number 2 of the best run cities in the United States, according to Wallet Hub. And also the best, I can't say that on the air. Well, put it this way. Nampa, Idaho.
Okay, these are the whitest cities, aren't they? I can say that. Can you say that?
They may be. I'm quite sure the KKK per capita is higher than most.
It's starting to sway that way.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. And coming in number 1, the best run city in the United States, according to Wallet Hub. Provo, Utah, where nobody's having any sex.
But
No one's drinking. Well, at least I should say no, unmarried sex. Yeah.
These are the cities most likely to find somebody with a gun rack in their truck.
No, because there's probably some southern cities that will be on this list.
All right.
I don't know if they have as many guns as, let's say, Birmingham, Alabama.
I think I'm moving Wallet Hub down on my list of all-time favorite hubs.
Did anyone look up Wallet Hub as far as what they actually do?
Daniel's got it on the screen. I think he's trying to show it to the Momigos.
It's too small. I can't read that.
No, not for us. I think for them. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, I can't figure out what it is either.
Credit cards, loans, credit scores, and more.
Yeah, so it's like Credit Karma.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's weird that they do so many lists.
Let me tell you how this business works.
Okay.
They put out these BS lists. We'll never agree with them. We'll poke all holes in them. But we'll keep talking about them. And we mentioned Wallet Hub how many times in this segment?
They're the variety of hubs.
That's an apt comparison. Not to be taken seriously. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on Facebook for the first time tonight at Mr. Mo Kelly. We're still live on YouTube. We're still live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and Instagram.
You know what's great about your investment account with the big guys? It's actually a time machine. Log in and zoom. Welcome back to 1999. It's time for an upgrade. At public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind at public.com. Go to public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at public.com/disclosures.
Instagram as well. We're just everywhere.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640 is Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere. We're live on Instagram. We're live on YouTube. And now we're live on Facebook at Mr. Mo Kelly. You can check out the show just about wherever you're most comfortable finding it. You can do it on your phone. You can cast it to your TV. And I was talking to Daniel, our video technical director, and looking at the stats, and some 16% of all of our viewers watch our show on a conventional TV. Now, I'm not sure whether that's casting it from your phone or just bringing it up on your smart TV where you have the YouTube app, but people are tuning in for more than 30 minutes at a time on average, and we appreciate you. We are growing by leaps and bounds, and it's because that you have supported us every step of the way. So that's why we roll it out to another platform. We can do that. And and by the way, it's Eddie Murphy Watch, day 22. So the more people we have watching and the different platforms that we have that are available for people to tune in, it makes it even more attractive to hopefully to get Eddie on this show. One more piece of news before we go before we go to the break, and also in the hour, we have Marsha Collier coming up at the top of the hour. You may not know that there is a new study using satellite images from NASA to give you some perspective of how massive what I'm about to tell you is. A new study using satellite images from NASA shows this environmental crisis at the Tijuana-San Diego border. It can be seen from space, and the images show a wastewater plume just off Imperial Beach. If you're from the area down in San Diego, you know exactly where I'm talking about. Imperial Beach is like always closed. But this wastewater plume is made up of toxic wastewater. We've talked about it. And it's pollution from untreated sewage, raw sewage, that's flowing into the Tijuana and Pacific Ocean for years. You can now see it from space, but this is a double emergency because when you talk about sewage, usually you're only talking about it from its liquid form. But there's also an issue now with toxic gases coming from it, and it is poisoning residents and has been poisoning residents for years. And it's obviously about 5 years so, and it's prompted an indefinite closure of the beach. On the worst days, as we're told, the contaminated flows could reach hundreds of millions of gallons each day. And I was telling you about toxic gases. It's not just in the water anymore. You have to also consider the bacteria, the viruses, the toxic gases, which are also connected to this. What is it? Stefan, what is it I always say? Just stay your ass out of the water.
Just don't go in the water.
This is what we know. Okay, this is only what we know of. What about the stuff we don't know? Do you actually think we're getting an accurate reading of the millions of gallons of raw sewage which are pouring into Imperial Beach?
No, but I just always love, like, if you take, like, Manhattan Hermosa, for example. Oh, after Hermosa, you're fine. Because that's where it stops.
Right. But it seems after a certain point, when was the last time we had any good news about a beach?
That's a good point, yeah.
Just what? I don't remember Mark Ronner saying, hey, you know what? All the beaches are clean today. Yeah. Go ahead and shake your ass in the surf. I don't ever remember him saying anything even approaching that. He has never said bacteria levels have returned to normal. Enjoy your weekend frolicking in the surf. He has never said anything approaching that.
Unlikely at this point, don't you think?
But I was saying, usually you think, okay, we have like, we used to have these like smog alerts, but then you get an all clear. You know, the smog alert. You got to keep kids inside, can't go outside to play because smog can get in the lungs, air quality. But then it would tell you air quality is better. I don't remember getting any type of notification that water quality is better.
Or like, what do they call it? The energy alert during the summer?
Right.
Everyone uses their AC and then they say, okay, now we're cool.
Yeah, there we go. You don't have to worry about these rolling blackouts or anything.
Yeah,
we're back in the green zone, okay?
So do you want like a Baby Ruth alert?
Yeah, well, look.
Like Caddyshack?
Remember we had the terror alerts? I could never figure it out. Are we orange or red or, you know, it's just, but we knew that once it was in a certain range, it was good again. And they would tell us. But we never hear about the ocean. And so I have to assume it's always bad. That's the point. It's always freaking bad. There's raw sewage everywhere. There's toxic algae everywhere, all the time. Wastewater everywhere. And there's never any note from you, Mark Ronner, in the KFI 24-hour newsroom that is getting any better.
I take full responsibility for the filth in the water.
And people want to say LA has the best beaches. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Not even close. Not even close. You could not pay me to get in one of our, in the ocean, one of our beaches. Look, God love Joe Kwan and Matt Money Smith, who get out there every single day and surf. Okay? But I would not recommend it for anyone.
Those are the thrill seekers. Going out there and dodging the floaties.
Well, not only that, remember when Joe Kwan came on and said, oh, yeah, I've been stung by a manta, you know, a shark bit off my arm the other day. It's like, what?
He powers through, man.
Yes. A jellyfish stung her 55 times one time she went out. The first time I get stung by a jellyfish is the last time.
Like, I'm out.
I'm not. Look, I don't want anything to even like graze me. And you're saying something out there could sting me like real hard?
Now, was Joquan able to explain to you why this is fun?
She's said to me that it's a great workout. I guess she's a bit of a thrill seeker. There's an adrenaline rush, I assume. I've never surfed. I only boogie boarded, and that was in my youth. So we're talking 40 years ago. I don't have a recent memory of good times in the ocean.
You know, I got a stationary bike on the back porch, and I've never been stung by anything while I was using it.
Not even
Nothing.
once. Not even a bee. Or have you?
Maybe a mosquito here and there during the summer, but
That's more of a bite than a sting.
no jellyfish. Okay.
So the beach, ocean water, it's dirty. Stay out of it. And next week when we talk about it, it'll be the same. It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, and also Facebook at Mr. Mo Kelly. And we're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
And here we have a specimen from the early 2000s, a legacy investing platform. Please don't touch the exhibit, folks. It could crash.
Ready to step out of the financial history museum? At public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind. Go to public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at public.com/disclosures.